You wasted an opportunity.
Excuse me?
If you went 50-50 with the Saints, maybe your girl would still be alive.
Watch yourself, old man.
Don't get mad at me for telling the truth. The Saints didn't kill you. Your greed did.
Ouch, jeez. Even the rest of the crew doesn't give it to Meryl like that. Ugh, man. Ben King does not let up. Alright, so it's time for Ben King's missions. So let's see how he's doing. Let's see, here he is in this room.
I'm working on an epic sci-fi follow-up to Regicide. I'm in the research phase, but the damn Zen blew up the internet. I need you to do some legwork for me.
Legwork, huh? Alright.
Normally that's fine, but in this case, I can't see how that's a problem. Right, so, I guess we have to be reference material this time around, so, let's go for it. Where are we starting? Whoop, middle of town, cool. Alright, what you got for us, King?
I want to see you take down one of those Zen hotspots.
Alright, so, and before we can get into things, here's an audio log.
I built, I watched, and then I acted. That's how I brought the Vice Kings up to be one of the strongest crews in Stillwater. Only problem was my lieutenants didn't have the same patience. That bitch Tanya drove a wedge between Tony and Warren. Then she convinced Warren to try and take me out, only to stab him in the back and take it all for herself. I may have lost the Vice Kings, but killing her almost made it worth the trouble. Good thing the player was there to help.
We're very important. Alright, so, starting right out with hotspots, cool.
I'm up for more.
As I keep saying, I really don't like these things just sitting here drawing aggro every time I pass by them, so good riddance. Anyway though, so, it's the Ben King episode. So, alright, let's start with the elephant in the room, the kinda sad part of this. So, oh god, yeah, you get out of there. I don't know what just happened, but I don't want you in the room anymore. Go away. I'm trying to explain things. Anyway, so, in the first game, Ben King was voiced by Michael Clark Duncan, who was initially supposed to reprise his role in 4. However, it is important to note that Michael Clark Duncan actually passed September of 2012. This game came out August of 2013. So, I don't know what this game's development cycle looked like, so I don't know how much he had recorded, but of course, since he had passed, they did have to bring in a replacement, so in this game, Ben King is voiced by Terry Crews, who does a fine enough job. I think he mostly sounds correct, though. In fairness, it has been a hot minute since I've played Saints Row 1, so since I've not had such an immediate comparison, I guess maybe that's just my brain filling in some blanks, I don't know. Either way though, yeah, I tried looking up interviews to see if I could find, like, how much had they recorded, because I'd assume if they had to completely replace him, it must have been the case that, like, they didn't have much of anything. Though, even if they did have, like, a lot recorded, it would also be kind of weird to just have pickup work, like, in the middle of the game. Like, yeah, most of it's Michael Clark Duncan, but then just randomly in, like, these missions you hear Terry Crews and it's like, wait, what? Wait, why does he sound different? Why did Ben King's voice change? Oh, because he died. Okay. No, that makes sense. But yeah, I wanted to see if I could find any interviews about that, but no, mostly when I look things up, I've not seen any interviews, just, you know, a bit of hearsay, mostly just, yeah, they didn't get all of the recordings they needed, or whatever have you. So, I would not say for certain what the case is, but yeah, the end result is, it is a different voice actor, even though the intention was to bring him back. But yeah, they kind of had to change.
No problem.
So I get it. it sucks, but like, what else are you going to do? At the very least, they knew they were going to bring Ben King back, so you can't really walk that one back. Again, I don't know the dev cycle of this game, but they were probably beyond that. They were probably past the planning stages, at least.
I see the main character is a tough guy. I want to see how you handle a Zen patrol.
Easily. Now, where is your other thing? It is important to note, though, that it does list Michael Duncan in the credits with an RIP, so he is still credited for the voice because he did put in work. But you're just not going to hear him for most of this.
After the fall of the Vice Kings, I figured it was time to get out of the game. Living the life I had, I didn't want all that experience to go to waste. Figured a book would allow me to work out my demons and show the world what the game took from me. Didn't know it'd take off so well. Shit. If I had known back then what I do now, probably would have gone legit sooner.
But then you wouldn't have had so much material. So anyway, again, Terry Crews does fine. You can definitely kind of hear him. He is one of those voices that is fairly distinct. And I did watch all of Brooklyn Nine-Nine at one point, so I am familiar with some of his work. Other things outside of just that, but mostly the thing I just said. But yeah, he does a fine enough job, though. Again, sometimes you can't help having a distinct voice, so like, oh, hey, how's it going? I'm not gonna fault him for that. Like, dang, I can't believe Terry Crews sounds a bit like Terry Crews. How dare he? Who does he think he is? He should have just changed his vocal cords entirely for his performance. How selfish. Anyway, though, yeah, I guess the protagonist of his book is just going to become Killer Queen and blow up several guys. Okay, this is actually kind of a cool way to do this fight. Please don't do that video game thing I don't like, where if you come too far from your spawn point, you just vanish and then reappear with all your health back, punishing me for something you did. Because that's stupid and I hate it, and I don't like that practice. Look, if you're too far from your spawn point, you should just explode. Don't put it on me for your bad pathing. That's just unfair. I don't approve of that. Anyway, I definitely know this is the fight I was thinking of when I said these fights get a little harder. I mean, for the most part, I have so many powers that the Warden can't really do anything to stop me from shooting him a bunch, but we're gonna try to explode him from the inside. And we get so close, but, it actually becomes brutally hard sooner than it used to, and eventually it just, the meter just goes up so fast that you're just booted out. Can't avoid it. Thankfully, though, that threshold does change every time, so it's not like I have to do even better at button mashing this time. This time it's gonna give me a little more leeway. It's not gonna be totally cruel, but it does kind of force you into doing a little more with these fights.
Wasn't too hard.
I don't know. I would have just preferred it if they just had like an extra life or something, if they were gonna do it. Because the way they set it up here, it feels worse. I guess it does kind of suck to see a second health bar come up, but it's the same effect, though.
What does it feel like when you hack one of those Zen stores? Show me.
I'm kind of neutral on it, honestly. I feel nothing when I play Pipe Dream. But yeah, I don't know, like, he technically has slightly more health anyway, since he gets refilled when you fail that QTE, but just like with the other thing I was complaining about, I feel like this puts the point of failure on me. Like, oh, you're gonna make it so that I physically can't actually kill this guy through button mashing the first time around, because it just goes up impossibly fast. Like, I don't know. I don't care for that. Also, that's a lot of clusters, I gotta get those. Oh, they're in the sky, aren't they? Yep, must be. Yeah, there's me looking up and going, okay, nope, not right now. But yeah, just... I don't know, why couldn't you figure out something else that doesn't feel as bad as forcing you to fail this thing that's been incredibly easy for the entire game? It's kind of out of nowhere.
Meeting new people?
I don't care for it. Again, yeah, I know other people probably would have disliked just, like, the little gems that bosses get in, 3 Houses, right? Like, just give them the extra HP gems. People would dislike that for a different reason, but, like, I'd be fine with it. Just give them a second health bar, it's fine. Anyway, we're done with store hacking now, we've got all of them. The last one was just kinda here, in the middle of Ben King's whole thing.
What's involved in injecting a virus into the simulation exactly? I want to know.
It's mostly killing. I guess he can watch us. The last cutscene does show off the fact that, yes, they do have a very distinct visual on the boss when she's in the simulation, so Ben King is probably at the computer right now watching us do cool things. I guess the boss just running around, destroying things to her heart's content is probably the closest thing to entertainment the ship has anymore. Look, the Earth is gone, they gotta get their entertainment somehow. And look, I have fun doing these things. The rest of the crew should also be fine watching me destroy stuff. Anyway though, back to Ben King. Right, so... the other... bit of... oh god. Of the whole thing is the fact that, you might have noticed that Ben King did not appear in Enter the Dominatrix, nor does he appear in the Christmas DLC. We haven't covered that yet, but I'll just say ahead of time, he doesn't appear there either. And in fairness, not all the characters appear in the DLCs. Keith David didn't appear in Enter the Dominatrix either. But Ben King does not, and that one feels more distinctly like they just didn't really want to touch on the subject. Like, it was just under a year before the game would ship, so it was probably way too late to just completely rip a character out of there because his voice actor passed, and that kinda would've sucked anyway. But I guess when it came time to ask, like, hey, are we gonna include this character in the further expansions, they probably decided against it. Like, they probably could have asked Terry Crews back again. But I guess he's probably a little bit expensive, and they already got Keith David for this as well, so, you know. But in fairness, they do keep pulling, you know, relatively big-name actors through this. You know, it's people you've heard of, even if you've, you know, if you're mostly into live-action stuff, so... that's what Ben King have to say.
Fantastic. Come see me when you're ready for more.
So yeah, I can't imagine any... oh, wait, voice clip.
Putting me in charge of the brothels was the best idea King ever had. There's no way anyone else in Stillwater would have been able to control the girls the way I did. It brought in the money, it brought in the clients, and it would have been the backbone of the Vice Kings if Gat and all the Saints hadn't ruined it all.
Hey, I ruined it too. Don't forget the boss. But yeah, I can't imagine any of the actors were particularly cheap for this. So yeah, I guess I would lean more towards the idea that, like, they probably didn't want to think about having to do a permanent replacement for Ben King in just, like, the DLCs and expansions. If there was a Saints Row 5 that continued this storyline, maybe they would have had to reconsider,
This
but
stuff
not
is
in this
great,
case.
player. What I need now is to punch up the second act. Show me some good stuff.
You realize your potential readers total about 10 people, right?
He has no answer. He's also just writing on the back of this book for some reason, which I don't see how that helps, but okay. Anyway, we got a new element for our buff, so you might be able to guess the theme of Ben King's rewards. I mean, it's one point that is nowhere near pattern, but, you know. Sometimes you can guess based on the first one. But yeah, here's our cash, and then, let's see, all we've got here is just the indication that, yeah, we've got a new element. Here's freeze. It's, I'd say cool, but that's not even a fun pun to make, so I don't want to make it by accident. Not even as an unintended pun. Alright, so, anyway, back to the simulation, once we start rising action. Alright, well, apparently he really likes the upload virus section portion, so... Hey, if he needs material, we might as well provide.
Can you show me that virus upload thing you do again? That's good stuff.
But yeah, I could see Keith David not reappearing for, like, the, DLCs and all that. But yeah, Ben King, I think, is the more obvious absentee of the characters. It probably was a painful decision, though, to have to do that in the first place. Just, you know, again, very necessary. Could not really change course that close to the end of development, so... Yeah, had to do it for this game, but for, you know, later stuff, it's just... Let's not bother having to think about that. He's somewhere on the ship writing, in the DLCs, and the, you know, one other feature game we've got. Don't ask him to come out, he's busy. But yeah, it really is too bad, because honestly, now that I have played through, the Saints Row games, I can definitely see how Ben King's a pretty cool addition. I mean, he was alright when I did my first playthrough. I didn't mind him or anything, but... I definitely think it means a lot more when you've actually watched through the first game, and you know what his deal is. Because yeah, it's another situation where, like, the game tells you all you need to know, but at the same time, lived experience is more important than just reading a recap, so... Yeah, seeing him in the first game, I think definitely helped my appreciation for him, because it's, in general, pretty cool that we've got the bad guys back in general, but most of them are just, you know, limited to minor roles as bosses and then as unlockable homies. Again, I do really like Marrow. I think all of his conversations are really fun, so you're just gonna see a bunch of those overall. 'Cause I like him. But Ben King feels special because, you know, the other characters are characters we've killed. Like, Marrow was a villain, and we killed him. And it was glorious, eventually. It took a bit of doing, but we got him eventually. Killer Queen. But you know, Ben King is the guy who actually decided, you know what, I can't keep this going. I'm gonna join up with the Saints. I don't want to let the Vice Kings go, but I'm going to. And because of that, he survived.
I tagged the target for you. I want to see you wipe this sucker out.
So, you know, he's kind of in the same boat as Matt, but the fact that he was in, you know, the earliest game is also very interesting. Because, like, yeah, of course Matt came back. He was in the previous game, and, you know, 4 is pretty similar to 3. We're still in Steelport. Graphically, it's, very much the same deal as the 3rd. So yeah, no, this definitely just feels like another chapter in a similar environment as the third, so yeah, it makes sense that we'd get a returning character from the third as well. But Ben King was in the original.
I want a big combat scene. How about taking on a bunch of Zen on patrol?
And he definitely feels like the strongest representation from that game in this one. He's kind of our resident Saints Row 1 guy. Cause, let's see. We haven't seen Zombie Lynn ever since she went on that rampage. And we didn't even get to see her do that rampage. Zombie Lynn never showed up. Cause of course she wouldn't. Just like Lynn to not appear. She's just so rude. Yeah, who else is Saints Row 1? Because I don't think we really get much of anyone.
I remember this one.
There's probably a reference to Hughes at some point, because usually there is. His wife was in the last one, and there was a bridge named after him, and it exploded like he did.
I lost my notes on that virus injection thing, player.
How?
Can you do one for me?
I think he just likes watching us kill things. Cause really, how do you lose your notes? I just did one. Presumably you're writing in the same notebook you were before. Anyway though, yeah, I can't really think of that many other references to Saints Row 1 in this one. So he's kind of the big one. Like him and the other Vice Kings we see. We also saw the Vice Kings, the gang, during that mission where stuff was flooding in from, presumably, Gat's mind. Because of course that was the important gang to him in the first game. But, you know, that's mostly just guys wearing yellow, so not as important. And I mean, the previous mission was just straight up, hey, here's this location from Saints Row 1. So yeah, like, he is kind of the Saints Row 1 source in this game. And yeah, I think he's really the only character who is kind of like the sole representation of this game, because, like, we've got Shaundi for Saints Row 2, but Pierce also represents Saints Row 2 as well, because, you know, he has a whole mission about going after Marrow, so yeah, he's also there, and then all the returning characters from 3, pretty self-explanatory. We're still in Steelport, so well, it has been changed for the Zin.
That has to be embarrassing.
It's, still very much something that looks like that very same location.
This is fantastic, player. See me when you're ready to bring this home.
Cause yeah, Saints Row 1 kind of exists on its own. Like, Steelport, again, it has been filled with Zin stuff for this game, but it does still feel like the same location as 3. A lot of the ways it feels different is just the way you interact with it, which is a lot different from the third game.
If this is going to be authentic, I need to make sure to get every last detail right.
Big finish, huh? Let's do it.
I mean, I don't know if I want to do that, but okay. Also, wait, does that mean it's legally... Is it legally motherfucking? Guess that is on his license. We've established this. Anyway, though, right, so, yeah, this game does feel different from the way you interact with it. Because you're, you know, flying around the city with superpowers instead of driving around it and, you know, having a more grounded experience, both in the sense that it is not involving superpowers, and also the fact that you are literally on the ground more than you are. I mean, I guess you could fly a lot of planes in that game if you wanted to, but I didn't. I mostly stuck to the ground. But yeah, Saints Row 1 and 2, you interact with Stillwater in pretty much the same way. Both those games feel very similar in how they play. And both games involve vehicles, you don't get superpowers in 2.
I know you've done this virus injection before, but it's really good character development.
Is it? It mostly just feels like kind of a fluff fight scene where it's really just there for the sake of a fight. Like, I don't feel like I have changed much as a person. I've changed the enemy into a bloody smear, but that's not really the same thing.
Oleg is one of the best things that ever happened to me, and right now it feels like the worst. I'm up here trying to save us from captivity and psychological torture, and all I can think about is him. He's the only one who ever truly understood what I was saying. I never thought I'd meet someone with an intelligence nearly matching my own who made me feel like I wasn't constantly missing something in my life. Now I am. Now I miss him.
Well... I feel like punch sex is not going to help you out of that funk. Is the boss gonna have to read? I don't think she can get on Kinzie's level quite like that. Anyway though, yeah, like, Stillwater actually changes pretty massively between games. Like, between the actual expansion of the area you have access to and just the way the neighborhoods are altered, does genuinely make it feel like a different place. And to be fair, the engine does definitely feel a little different. It's largely the same at its base, but definitely something about it just felt different from the first game. I can't quite put my finger on it. But yeah, a lot of it probably is the stuff I did say, though, just having the extra bit of land and a place that's supposed to look familiar to a certain extent, but has had some pretty radical changes that are going to make it also feel alien, too. I mean, just like the changes to Saints Row, you know, the location are huge. I think that might be one of the biggest things. Downtown also definitely feels a bit different, and as do the suburbs, but like, Saints Row being your original base of operations and then being changed to just like the extremely upscale neighborhood definitely alters how I felt about that area. So yeah, like, I think, that being said, Saints Row 1 winds up being probably the most isolated experience. It feels the most different from everything else. Like, 2 to 3 is definitely a pretty big change, too, but, like, I feel like there's a smoother line between 2 and 3, maybe. I don't know, maybe it's the characters. No, actually, yeah, that does make sense, thinking about it. Like, in general, yeah, character can encompass a lot of things. For one, the gang's definitely different, going from 1 to 2. Than it is 2 to 3, because there's a lot of additions in 3, but, you know, you start with Gat and Shaundi and Pierce, and really the boss too. Like, I think actually giving the boss a more solid character in 2 definitely changes the tone a lot, because you do go from... oh, hold on a sec.
Okay, the enemy has the main character surrounded. Show me what he'd do against a bunch of Zen.
Probably fight him. But yeah, the boss actually getting a character does definitely change the tone a lot, because 1 is the only game where you are really just kind of the... I mean, I want to say passive, but at the same time, the level of violence you employ is actually significant. It's why Julius did bomb you at the end there. So, like, you are technically just following orders, but you are killing so much, you're going so overboard that I wouldn't say you're entirely just, you have no effect on the story, but it's definitely different too.
come out there, player.
Can do. But yeah, that definitely gives one a much
City
different
needs some
feeling
serious remodeling.
of being not the leader, I guess is the most succinct way to put that. You are not the leader, and so it feels different when you're in charge. And then yeah, going from 2 to 3, Shanti does feel a bit different, but there's reasons for that, and Pierce is mostly the same, just maybe a little more relaxed and has different clothes, but otherwise, yeah, you lose everything after 1, and you keep it after 2.
Everybody should do this. Seriously.
Meanwhile, yeah, Saints Row 1, the only guy who makes it through the Saints in those 2 games is Johnny Gat. It's just you and Gat. Otherwise, you have Dex, who stabs you in the back. You have Troy, who was a cop, but stabbed you in the back less than Dex did. And then Julius, who stabbed you in the back. For understandable reasons, like, Dex went corporate and, boy, yeah,
Always feels good to kick ass.
the, bits of that, the DLC in 2,
That out, do they?
definitely indicated that, Dex was doing some pretty shady things, so... Unlike Julius, who had to bomb us for moral reasons, that, I am, you know, as a person,
Mayhem, baby.
I guess, reading, playing a story, I am sympathetic to him doing that thing, but also, I'm on the side of the boss at the same time, so... I'm still doing the mission where you kill him, because, you know, it's a mission in this video game and I want to clear it. And also, the boss wants revenge, so who am I to say no to her? But yeah, Lynn died, so... The crew definitely feels a lot different. Oh god, one of the only other characters who goes from 1 to 2 is Donnie.
I really need to do this more often.
In the huge changes you see, going from, the gangs in general, Donnie is the only guy who survives from 1 to 2. And then he survived that as well, cause like, we've been through Enter the Dominatrix at this point. Look, none of his content stayed in the game, sure. But he still exists, we know he exists. But yeah, no, like, otherwise, the other gangs were pretty well just strangled out of the game. We killed most of the characters, and the one surviving guy left and survived until this point.
Now it's time for the main character to face his greatest challenge. A room full of enemies.
Yes, highly original. Nobody's done that before, Ben King. But yeah, it's kinda nice to see Ben King as, I don't know if he's written to be a foil for Julius Little. I don't think it's quite there thematically to be a foil, but like, he makes better life decisions than Julius did. Like, he just decided to cut himself out of the gang life cold turkey, but like, he just left and didn't bomb anybody. Which has put him in much better standing than Julius was with us. Oh, speaking of Julius...
And welcome once again to Super Power Fight Club!
I'm gonna guess that's on purpose. I'm gonna guess we're facing Julius because he does have that relationship to Ben King. Which I gotta say, did we ever tell Ben that we were the ones who killed
After that, I could use a
Julius?
massage.
I feel like we didn't. Cause again, like, he took leaving the game better than Julius did.
Complete!
Julius had to try to kill us on the way out, and that was a fatal mistake.
Wave 2!
Whereas King just left. And so he survived to this day. Again, I don't think there's really enough written for him to be a foil exactly, but you can definitely see where he made some better choices. Despite the fact that the boss is technically a horrible person, he did leave us, so we're fine with him. But yeah, I don't know if anybody ever told him. I don't think he ever mentions it. I should double check, to see if their conversation, involves that at all. I should probably double check a few lines, but, I don't know if it ever comes up. Which again, I don't know if we told him, because he might have been a little more hesitant to join us if he knew that we killed his best friend.
It's King of the Hill!
And like a man he still respected, he didn't dislike Julius at the end. You know, he definitely wasn't the happiest about having to lose his gang, but like,
Contestant better take
he understood
the
where
area.
Julius was coming from, and just decided to leave. Because like, what else was he going to do? It was either that or get killed by Tanya, and like, there was no way his sense of pride would let him be killed by Tanya, of all people. He was not going to suffer traitors to live, and he definitely wasn't going to suffer them to pull one over on him.
Now a blast from the past, Julius Little!
Where is he? Where is he? Let me at him. Get over here, Julius. Ow. Alright, look. You clearly can't explode from this, but I'm going to at least set you on fire. There we go.
Julius Little has been defeated!
Wow, Playa, you're really... Oh, wow.
Ouch! This is gonna hurt!
That looked personal.
And there you have it! Well done!
I mean, look, Playa, I feel like maybe you didn't have to kill him that hard. Like, that's my best friend there. That you just brutally crushed against the ground again and again. That was kinda messed up, Playa. Let me tell you, if Julius had survived the Earth exploding, I don't think he would have been happy about seeing that. In fairness, like, he probably would have seen the news article, right? Like, given the setup of Saints Row 2, ending every mission with the newspaper clippings, we can assume that it did make the news, and that Ben King would have seen it. But I don't think the article ever mentioned the boss being involved. Are you not gonna say anything? King? You, doing alright? King? Ben? Motherfucking? Okay, apparently it's not gonna say anything. But yeah, I don't remember the news article saying anything about, the gang involvement. I just remember the title mentioning that, you know, the local, tour guide was found dead. Which sounds very passive and does not involve him being shot for, you know, vengeance reasons. I'll go double check that one too. I don't know if I'll be able to find a Volition interview, because they can be a little difficult to find at times, but I can definitely track down the end image of that mission. That's easy enough. Anyway, hey Ben, how's it going?
This is gonna be epic, player. Thanks for your help. I'll be sure to put you in a special thanks.
Gee, Ben, thanks.
Are you doing that right now? Writing on the back cover with Sharpie? Alright, so... Now we've got electricity buff. So that's cool. I do like the buffs. They're very nice to have. It's like elements from your other abilities, but instead you get it as an aura. You can just kill people with. You can just turn people into ice statues and obliterate them. Anyway, here's me getting unlimited ammo for weapons. I don't think I get all of them here, because that does get very pricey, but I'm definitely getting unlimited for a few, and I'm definitely upping the amount I get for other weapons, because, yeah, at this point we could definitely use a little bit more of that. I don't know what the new thing is there, but anyway. So, let's see what the romance for Ben King is.
Can I help you?
No. Yes, it's... Sorry, this is a little awkward.
Is it the
It's
fact
okay.
that he's glued that
Say
book
what's
to
on your
his...
mind.
I don't know if I can.
the air around
You
his
never know if
hands?
you can have something unless you ask for it.
I don't want things to change between us.
Things won't change. We're professionals.
You'll see me differently.
Just shut up and say it.
Can you... sign my copy of your book?
Sure.
Alright, that's it. Goodbye.
You're unbelievable.